as we travel. Let's travel to America and get the latest from the host of the Politics People podcast, Paul Duddridge, and find out what's happening in the world of Donald Trump. Hello, Paul. Right, so let's talk Trump. There's an anti-Trump New York Times headline. The question is not if Biden should step down, it's how. Is that an anti-Trump?
Yeah, now, no, the New York Times is anti-Trump. So for the New York Times, that is the Bible of that's the broadsheet Bible of the wokerati. For them to come out and put out a headline saying it's not if Biden should step aside, it's how. That's the huge shift. And I've not been the only one that spotted this, and it's not only the New York Times. Every left-leaning anti-Trump newspaper has started. Basically, it's over. You've now seen the end of the Biden so-called presidency, and so even Hillary Clinton today, who is the queen of the Democrat Party, has said age is a consideration when we're dealing with Joe Biden. So that's it. I mean, basically, they have all turned on him, and so it's now a matter of replacing him. The question is, who is going to replace him and when? We've got the Democrat convention in August. I've been optimistic for Biden, saying, look, he'll make it to August. But I tell you, the way they've turned on him this week, this could be in a matter of weeks that he's actually replaced as the nominee.
Well, I just don't even understand why they thought that they were fooling us into believing that he is actually capable of making any decisions at all. It's just absurd. And now they finally accepted that what we're seeing, and they're reinforcing and telling us now what you're seeing is absolutely correct. But it's taken them so long. I just don't understand why it's taken them so long. So how's it looking for Trump now, then? Because, of course, there's the Supreme Court and there's an argument that's looking positive for him. And he may be kept on the ballot in Colorado. Well, they have to. Who else have they got? There's nobody else other than Trump.
Exactly. Look, we've always talked about this. Things that we've said on this show, OK? Biden's going to go before the election and that Trump will stay on the ballot in Colorado and he will be the nominee. But it's finally hit the Supreme Court. We're always there with any sane person is like, OK, this will get appealed to the Supreme Court. That started on Thursday. We'll get the result in 90 days. The arguments look really positive. They're at least sticking to the Constitution, which is their job in the Supreme Court. I hate to be a little bit negative on this. I don't want Biden to be replaced. I would love Trump to actually go up against Biden in the debates. If that debate alone would be the most watched show in television history. Anybody vaguely competent with the machinery of the US Democrat establishment behind them can be a true contender to Trump. I mean, the vacuum, the leadership vacuum in that White House and in the coming presidential campaign is really what we've benefited from. It's part of the reason that Trump is so buoyant and is leading so well. But you replace Biden with a Gavin Newsom, who looks like the likely candidate. Everybody apparently on the left wants Michelle Obama. I take that with a pinch of salt. I don't think that she's likely to be the candidate, but there's a lot of wish fulfillment going on. But Gavin Newsom is in Vegas this weekend courting billionaires. So it looks like, and he's gone and met the president of China, etc. And this is just the governor of California. So I think he is the likely replacement of Biden. I think he's a much more formidable debater than Joe Biden. And I think Trump would have real competition then, bearing in mind it's so finely balanced in those 6 battleground states that we're going to see.
Wow, I don't know why it took them so long. That's very foolish of them. There's a lot I want to talk to you about, but I wanted to quickly get you to Tucker Carlson and his interview with Putin. How was that received in America?
Well, the minute that the news channel said don't watch it, everybody went, oh, we definitely should be watching that then. It was a little bit like during COVID when the news channel said, like, we are the only people to give you information. It's actually illegal to look at other information. So, no, I think it was received well on both sides of the aisle. I don't think you'd have to be a real policy wonk to have any kind of criticism of it. And to be fair, Tucker Carlson did actually put legitimate questions to Putin that nobody else had bothered to ask, or people assumed he wouldn't be brave enough to ask. And so, we actually got a why did you go into Ukraine actually answered from the horse's mouth. So I think largely it's been received very, very well. And it's the kind of It's the kind of interview that we used to see 30 years ago. If you think about it, we used to have proper sit-down interviews. I think Trevor McDonald went and met with Saddam Hussein, and it was not a million miles away from the formality of this kind of interview. Now, apparently, you can only talk to leaders who you agree with. It's crazy. So it was very well received, I would say.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? Well, listen, Paul, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. That's Paul Dudridge, host of the Politics People podcast. Good to talk to you. We'll talk to him again next week and get an update from him.